Snakeskin boots on a Saturday night.
Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here, and welcome back to an all-new Black Ops 3 Zombies video. Today we're going to be taking a look at all the unsolved Easter eggs within Revelations. So with Revelations almost being out close to a year now, I thought it would be interesting to take a look back at all of the unsolved Easter eggs on this map, because I feel like no one's really hunting for them per se. They're not really giving it a shot. Now once again, this is another pre-recorded video. I'm currently on holiday for a few weeks, so if you're wondering why I'm not staying up to date with any new news or information, or if any new trailers have dropped and you're wondering why I'm not staying up to date with them, that is indeed why. But I'll be covering absolutely everything once I am back. Now if you do go on to enjoy this video, by the end of it, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and go for 1,115 likes on today's video, as well as subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future upload here on the channel, and don't forget to turn notifications on to ensure furthermore that you never miss an upload. But with that all out of the way, let's get straight on into the video. So Jason Blundell obviously said that Revelations was supposed to last us a year in terms of content. Now, at the time, it made a lot of people angry because they thought that, well, everything was solved pretty much instantly once the main Easter egg was solved, so people were kind of disappointed. However, we now know that that quote was simply in reference to the fact that DLC 5 was coming, aka Zombies Chronicles. But with Revelations being the DLC 4, there are tons of things on this map that we have leads for, but we just haven't delved further into. There's tons of unsolved stuff on this map. Now, I just want to say that a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about within this video, they could just be cancelled or scrapped Easter eggs that Treyarch planned on adding into the map, but maybe have not just finished it on time or decided to abandon the Easter egg, and there may have been leftover code or leftover stuff found within the game, actual gameplay, for these cancelled or scrapped Easter eggs. So we may be following leads that may not exist anymore, unfortunately, but I want to be going over absolutely everything within this video that has been found within the code of Revelations or in-game of Revelations that could be an unsolved Easter egg. The majority are probably simply cancelled or scrapped Easter eggs, as I said. So the first potential unsolved Easter egg within Revelations is regarding a unsolved Easter egg to do with a chicken bait or chicken strike weapon. This is because within the code of Revelations it has been found that there is some sort of weapon that works like a spider bait or like the dragon strike weapon from Gorod Krovi. It's something that would be activated by pressing right on the D-pad, and this is the image that can be found within the code of the icon for this weapon. Now within the code there are also steps in regards to this Easter egg. As you can see from all of this code on screen right now, there's code in regards to an omelette egg spawn, there's code in regards to ovary egg, then it says main omelette egg pickup, gateworm pod, rift entrance open, etc, etc. Now this is separate, I believe, from the step within the main Easter egg where you have to collect eggs, and people think that this code could be in reference to this chicken bait or chicken strike weapon. Not only that, but there is also the chicken pen that can be found within the spawn room of Revelations, and there's a glitch that when you look through the portal at the pen, you can see some eggs that appear within this chicken pen that normally don't show up, or chicken coop, or whatever you want to call it. So it suggests that this might be showing a glitched way of seeing a potential step within this Easter egg through using this glitch. Now at this current point in time, we don't really have any leads on this Easter egg. We know that there are these weird rocks within the sky that have hit detections on them for some weird reason that people think might have something to do with this Easter egg or some other Easter egg, but this is all we know about this Easter egg. As I said, this could be an unsolved Easter egg, or it could be a scrapped Easter egg, one they were planning to add but just never made its way into the full release of the game. Now in terms of what this weapon could be, most people think that it's going to be like the chicken that you have within Dead Ops Arcade. So you would activate this weapon and then either a chicken would fly around you and it would sort of help you in game, sort of like the Maxis drone from Origins, or another potential thing, you could actually turn into the chicken just like the spider bait within Zetsubo no Shima. Those are two ideas floating around. Now as I said earlier, I believe that this code in regards to all of this omelette stuff, in regards to cooking the egg and hatching it and all of that stuff, I believe that that's separate to the main Easter egg, because there is other code for the main Easter egg that specifically says ZMB main omelette worm, and that's separate to this code. code, but I'm not familiar with code. I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff, so I could just be misinterpreting it. I'm not really sure. I have no knowledge on code whatsoever. Now, moving further on, the next potentially unsolved Easter egg on Revelations is Al Arlington's hat that you can pick up within Mob of the Dead. Now, to this day, we don't know what this hat does. However, people like Glitching Queen have tested out this hat for example, spawning in more power-ups when you have the hat on, or getting better mystery box luck. Stuff like that's been tested out, and the hat doesn't seem to do anything. Also, within the code, there is nothing in regards to Al's hat. So, from what I can tell, Al's hat doesn't do anything. It's just an aesthetic thing, something that you can use to, for example, get rid of the abilities of the other hats or something like that. But from what I can tell, this isn't an unsolved Easter egg. I mean, pre-release, maybe Treyarch wanted Al's hat to do something, but again, it might have not made its way into the full release of the game, so they just decided to keep Al's hat in as an aesthetic thing. Maybe it was going to change your gameplay experience initially, but as I said, it just didn't come into fruition. I'm not really sure, but from what I can tell, Al's hat does nothing. Now, moving further on, it has been found within the code that when changing the code, the projector screen within Revelations, within the Kino stage section, is able to be lowered down. I have no idea why this is within the code, but within the code, there is something that allows it to come down. As I said, I have no idea what this is for. Now, again, I think this is another cancelled Easter egg. It could be an unsolved Easter egg. We have no idea for definite. But as I said, by modifying stuff with mod tools, you can allow it to come down, so it is within the code. But again, there's just no other extension or anything that activates this Easter egg. So I'm not really sure if this is an unsolved Easter egg. It's most likely some sort of cancelled Easter egg. Now, the next thing which can be regarded as an unsolved Easter egg within Revelations is there is a vase within the Darius and Drax section of Revelations that plays two different whispering voices in either ear speaking at once. Now, no one's really been able to fully decode what these say, but it sounds similar to the voice that you can hear when you go into beast mode within Shadows of Evil, which I find peculiar, and people have managed to work out some of the things that it says, but they've not managed to work it out in its entirety. As I said, it's still yet to be translated fully. Now, the next few things which I'm going to discuss regarding potential unsolved Easter eggs on Revelations, I'm pretty sure are just leftover things within the code. Now, the first thing is that the code for the Galvanucles has been found within Revelations, the code for the Dragon Strike has also been found within Revelations, and the code for the Gauntlet of Siegfried from Grod Krovi has also been found within the code. Now, interestingly enough, this is rather peculiar because the code for the Galvanucles has not only been found in Revelations, but it's been found within Zetsubo no Shima, but there are no triggers to get it, and it doesn't even work. The weapon won't even load if you're using mods, so it's not really in the game at all. So again, I think Treyarch must have been messing around with something to do with the Galvanucles pre-release, but whatever they were doing, it's not something able to do in the game. The same with the Gauntlet of Siegfried. It could be just leftover code from Grod Krovi, but it doesn't really make sense, never really carry over stuff like that. In terms of the Dragon Strike being found within the code, this could be in reference to the fact that you can actually see it within the intro cutscene of Revelations within Max's house, and you can see it within the music trailer where we see Samantha within the house and the other children within the house. We can see that in the basement of the house as well, the Dragon Strike. So maybe that's what the code was in reference to. Or maybe pre-release of Revelations, Trek just planned on putting all of these specialists and all of the different weapons on this map, everything, since it is a combination of all of the maps, but maybe they just decided to settle with the Ragnarok DG4. But yeah, I don't think these are unsolved Easter eggs, but there is something else that's been found in the code, which is in reference to the beast mode within Revelations. Now, this code is not left over from Shadows of Evil. This directly references Genesis, which is Revelations. Not only does it reference that, but it specifically references our 4 premise characters. Also, if it was leftover code, it would be in the other maps as well, but this is the only map aside from Shadows of Evil which features the beast mode code. Again, I just think this is something that Treyarch planned on having pre-release, because as you guys know, Revelations is an Apothicon themed map just like Shadows of Evil, so it makes sense to have beast mode on it since it is Apothicon themed, and obviously beast mode is an Apothicon. But again, this is probably something that Treyarch decided to cancel because it probably just didn't work with the flow of the map. Now, the next thing that's been found within the code is that there are announcer files for both Dr. Monty as well as the Shadow Man. Now, I don't know if this is some sort of an unsolved Easter egg or whether Treyarch planned on having some sort of grief mode within this map where you could either be on the Shadow Man's team or Dr. Monty's team. I'm not really sure, but I'll let you guys listen to them right now.
Kaboom! Bonus points. Carpenter. Double points. Fire sale. Insta-kill. Minigun.
Max ammo. Bonus points. Carpenter. Double points. Fire sale. Insta-kill. Minigun.
Now the next potentially unsolved Easter egg within Revelations is that when you use the I'm feeling lucky Gobblegum, there is a random chance of getting some rocket fuel for the rocket shield, which is peculiar since the rocket shield is not on this map. However, within the trailer for Revelations, the rocket shield was present within that trailer, so I think that they were planning to have the rocket shield pre-released but swapped it out for the Gobblegum dragon shield. That's what I think happened, and this is something left over from that. But there have been some people that have talked about possibly an unsolved Easter egg that allows you to get the rocket shield, and that's why you can get rocket fuel ammo. That is a possibility, but that doesn't really make sense. I doubt they would put that shield on since the Gobblegum dragon shield is better, so why would they put in a worse shield as some sort of unsolved Easter egg? And there's nothing found within the code in regards to a way to get it. Although you can use the rocket shield when using mod tools, it is within the map for some weird reason. Now also when using the I'm feeling lucky Gobblegum, there is this weird power up that has the potential to spawn that will give you a random weapon in your game. Now in this game it gives the Shiva. Again, I'm not sure if this power up is for some sort of unsolved Easter egg that you somehow managed to obtain when using I'm feeling lucky. I don't really know, but this is the most weirdest power up ever. Now it may have something to do with the Dr. Monty as well as the Shadow Man quotes that were found within the code. As I said, I think that was for some sort of grief mode, some sort of new version of grief, and maybe this power up would have been for that mode since it could give you a good weapon or a bad weapon. Maybe that's what this weapon was for, or maybe it is part of an unsolved Easter egg, but I think it's more than likely for this scrapped grief mode. That's my own personal opinion. A guy over on Twitter called Fresh Hunter, which I will leave another link to in this video's description, posted some potential code to Glitching Queen over on Twitter, and I will throw up the code on screen right now. And again, this is potentially the code in regards to the steps for an unsolved jump scare Easter egg on Revelation. So it reads as follows: gateworm_asteroid, gateworm, egg_destination, holding_egg, pot_trigger, egg_pot_location, gateworm_meteor_trigger. Now I have no idea whether this code is real or whether it's fake. I honestly have no idea whatsoever, but if you are unaware, there are a lot of weird asteroids that can be found in the sky on Revelations. Obviously there's the blue tabs that you have to shoot in order to upgrade the Apothecary Servant, and there's a lot of weird asteroids floating around the map as well. So if this code is indeed true, what we have to do is we have to somehow activate these asteroids, which are presumably there's 4, and we have to activate these asteroids with a gateworm, and then we have to do something with the gateworm, and then we have to find a destination of an egg. Now the interesting thing about this is within the main Easter egg, we obviously have to go ahead and collect eggs. So this seems very, very similar to that, but we would have to hold that egg, and then we have to trigger the egg in regards to a pot, so we'd probably have to place the eggs within a pot. Obviously there's tons of plant pots around the map, so maybe we have to place the egg within a pot in a specific location, and then we have to trigger a meteor with the gateworm to finally complete the jump scare Easter egg. Now like with any code, we could be greatly misinterpreting this code here. It could be referencing to another Easter egg, or it could be referencing to some other side Easter egg that's separate to that of a jump scare, but it sounds like that of a jump scare Easter egg. But people think that there's some sort of jump scare with this Easter egg. Again, I just think that all of this is leftover code. I'm sure we would have found it by now if it was in the game, but today I just wanted to go over a bit of scrapped content that was originally going to be on Revelations regarding the main Easter egg and a summoning key upgrade. So basically there was this Reddit post by Facebook Prophet quite a while ago over on Reddit regarding some stuff found within the GOC files, regarding some stuff found within the GSC files of Revelations, and as you can see, this is a scrapped section of the main Easter egg. So if you look at the code, it says grand_tour, toys_collected, boss fight_room, ending_room, rocket_panel_opened, rocket repaired, summoning key pack-a-punched, summoning key in rocket, lightning dog spawn, then it says fx_dog, lightning build up. So there was going to be part of the main Easter egg where after you had fought the initial boss fight, the very first boss fight I believe, what would happen is there would be a rocket. Now I presume presume this rocket would be like Der Eisendrache, and within the Easter egg you would have to open up a panel on this rocket somehow and then repair the rocket because it was probably broken, and then upon repairing the rocket it would enable you to upgrade the summoning key or pack-a-punch it, and once you have then upgraded the summoning key you would then insert the summoning key into this rocket, which as I said I think is going to be like Der Eisendrache, and then it would cause an infinite amount of dogs to spawn in, which I think you would have to fight. Now as I said, I think this part of the Easter egg was intended to take place in between where you fight the first boss fight and then you fight the final boss fight against the Shadow Man, because obviously after you fight the first boss fight you collect the summoning key, and then with this summoning key you go around the map and you throw it at specific objects to collect them, and then after you've done all that you then move on to the next step of the Easter egg. But I think instead of collecting items, or maybe you still would have collected items, but I think after you collected these items you would then have to somehow repair this rocket and then send a summoning key up into the sky, which would cause an infinite amount of dogs to spawn, and then once you've completed that then you would be able to go to the final boss fight. But yeah, this is definitely interesting. I mean, this would have been very cool being able to pack-a-punch this summoning key, because unfortunately you can't pack-a-punch it. Now the summoning key is a very cool weapon on Revelations. I'll be showing some gameplay of it in the background. Essentially it just kills the zombies almost instantaneously. It takes out entire trains. Now apparently it just causes the zombies to respawn, so it doesn't actually kill them, but maybe the upgraded version could be used to progress into the rounds, and I think it could have been a very cool weapon indeed. And it would have been cool seeing a rocket on this map taking off as well, since we didn't see a rocket take off within Der Eisendrache. Although we did see the rockets, you know, go onto the moon, we didn't see like one rocket up close and stuff like that. I think this would have made the Easter egg a lot better, because from the looks of things Revelations was a very rushed map. There's been tons of stuff found within the code of unsolved Easter eggs that seem to be scrapped Easter eggs, and the main Easter egg was very lackluster and underwhelming, and the steps were very stupid as well, and I think it was because it was rushed for some weird reason. I think it was rushed because they were working on DLC 5. That's my own personal opinion. I think it would have taken time away from making Revelations. That's what I think was going on here. But yeah, it's cool to see that there was going to be a rocket and a summoning key pack-a-punch on this map. So yeah, as you can tell, most of these things that I have showed you are probably just scrapped Easter eggs, but I just wanted to give this overarching list just to spread some awareness about all of this stuff. Now obviously we have unsolved ciphers, which I'm not going to go over within this video because I don't think it's relevant to this video, since we've only solved 2 ciphers and Revelations, so pretty much all of those cipher Easter eggs are unsolved. But yeah, that's been a look at all the potential unsolved Easter eggs on Revelations. Hopefully you have gone on to enjoy this video. If you have, make sure to smash the like button down below. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Black Ops 3 Zombies news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.